everyone. Welcome to the March 2023 edition of LinkedIn News Digest and Insights with me, Clarene Mitchell. Right away from the beginning, let me just beg your apologies. I've been sick with the cold all weekend, so I'm struggling with my voice. I usually don't have this much voice. Excuse me. I usually don't have this much bass in my voice. So forgive that. And I'm going to go through this as quickly as I can before I lose my voice. I have my tissues on standby. I have my water on standby as well. Well, hopefully I can get through this broadcast and bring you some of my top favorite news items from the month of March regarding LinkedIn. Excuse me, by way of introduction, I am Clarene Mitchell, the founder and CEO of TCM Communications. I change the trajectory of lives and businesses one LinkedIn profile at a time. As a solopreneur, my business focuses exclusively on LinkedIn, providing results driven one on one coaching, whether in person or virtually, corporate training from a brand ambassadorship perspective. I ghost accounts, meaning I optimize accounts and I create content for clients as well. And I do speaking engagements. I am author as well of the LinkedIn book. Hello, Danielle. So nice to have you tuning in into the live. Thank you so much. But so that's what my business is all about. This show is my way of giving back to the LinkedIn community to keep you updated on the platform and what's going on, what's new. Knowledge is power. The more we know about the platform, the more we can effectively use the platform as well. So let me get right to it before I lose my voice. And hi, Miranda. Good to have you here as well. But let me get right to my news topics, and I'm going to share those and then open it up if you have any questions, as much as I can respond to without losing my voice. So the first one, and let me just say this, as always, if this is your first time tuning in or you're a repeater, always have pencil and paper ready, because I'm giving you an overview of top news stories, but I'm not digging deep into the full story. So come prepared. Every last Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, come prepared with pen and paper so you can write down the full article name and the source so that you can go and read the full articles. Okay? Because I'm just giving you the highlights, the Cliff Note versions of the articles. So this one, the first one is from Engadgets. Engadgets. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's called You Can Now Enhance Your LinkedIn Profile with AI Written Suggestions. So everybody, it seems, is hopping on the AI bandwagon, so to speak, and that includes LinkedIn. They have some AI generated, what they're calling articles, and other aspects of the platform they're leaning into AI with. I'm going to hold my opinion or my views about using the AI for LinkedIn purposes and establishing your brand and maintaining your brand. But I need to be unbiased and bring you top stories as well, right? So, again, so Engadget, you can now enhance your LinkedIn profile with AI written suggestions. And this is from March 15, 2023. So, this is all about generative AI. Okay, so for those, and I looked up the definition because I want to make sure, in case that's a new terminology to you, it's an AI system capable of generating text, images, and other media in response to prompts. So when there's prompts, then content is developed based upon those prompts. So again, LinkedIn has hopped on this bandwagon by giving writing suggestions as far as content, well, as far as the profile rather, and then job descriptions as well. And it's all about to make it easier to fill out the key profile fields. And for example, the headline section, the section up under your name, as well as your about section. So having the AI suggestions will help people. And I see overall, and I'm going to just say this and then leave my opinions along with this out of the conversation. But I see this development as LinkedIn trying to respond to those who are still struggling with leveraging the platform, creating content, or filling out fully the different key sections on the profiles, then providing this as a resource to nudge people along. All right, I said that. And so making it easier, and this is for premium subscribers. Now, I'm a premium subscriber. I'm someone who went through the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program last year, the technology and innovation cohort, but I've not seen the rollout of this yet. So I can't speak to how it works and all of that. So I'll be watching out because I'll experiment with it just to be able to share it with my clients. But this is for premium subscribers and is meant to preserve your unique voice and style based upon the way the AI will work, based upon how you've already filled out other sections or parts of your profile. It'll try to marry the suggestions to your overall voice, however that will work, right? So it's not meant to be something that's totally different from you and your persona. It's supposed to blend with that. But the caution is you don't fully lean into or rely on that AI. You have to have it or view it as a starting point only. And so you should review whatever, it creates for you and edit accordingly. All right. So again, LinkedIn is leaning into AI, the bandwagon, getting on the bandwagon with it. And before I go to the next story, if you can see the ticker at the bottom and the question, if you can answer that, if you haven't already, in the comments before I get to this particular news story. And it's, excuse me, I'm asking you, what's an overrated buzzword on LinkedIn? So what word do you see tons of people using on the LinkedIn on LinkedIn, whether in their profiles, on their newsfeed, in their content, that is just overused, oversaturated, and has lost its meaning? Any hints on that? Any thoughts on that? All right, so I move on to my other story before I get to the buzzword story. The next story is from Social Media Today, one of my favorite sources for social media related news. And the title is LinkedIn as native post scheduling for company pages and new audio event options. And this story is from March 21st, 2023. So again, always have your pen and paper ready so you can write down the source, the title, and the date so you can easily find it when you do a Google search. Now, recently, LinkedIn introduced native post scheduling for personal profiles. Now they transitioned to or expanded to allow that on company pages. And I'm excited about that because for the page I manage for my own business as well as the pages I manage for my clients, this can be very beneficial. I say, and this is cautionary from my view, with even on the personal profiles, not totally relying on the scheduling aspect. It's a good process or tool or resource to have when you know you're not going to be available, whether you're sick or whether, like on Friday mornings, I have an early 7 a.m. meeting. So generally on Thursday evenings, I pre-schedule my post for that morning so the post is done and out, right, while I'm at my meeting. But it's not something that I use like big chunks of time. I schedule out my post. It's having the tool as a backup, as a resource, but not something that's a crutch that you lean on and use all the time. Okay, my 2 cents with that. But so native post scheduling has been a well-received update recently on the personal profile side. Now company pages have this option as well, but it's only available on the web version, not on the app version at this time. Whether they're going to expand to the app version or not, I'm not sure, but currently it is only on the web version. All right. Company pages can now also follow other company pages. Not sure if this is something that would be beneficial to you or not, but it's good to know. Knowledge is power, right? And so the benefit of being able to pre-schedule on LinkedIn on your company pages, your posts, versus using an external platform, which has not always been a good thing because sometimes those platforms don't don't coordinate align well with LinkedIn, I'll say. So being able to do it natively on the platform, within the platform. So one of the advantages we can, if you schedule within the platform, you can tag people, you can tag companies, you can see what it looks like in real view, and real, how it would view on the news feed before you make the post, which you couldn't do that when you use an external platform. All right. So some of the advantages of that process. And you can schedule, and I'm saying this cautiously, but I have to give information, right? Be non-partial. You can schedule your post for up to 3 months in advance. So you can go in and block up 3 months in advance. But again, my caution, it's hard to be timely and organic with that process, and where it will prompt true engagement, relevancy, and all of that if it's that far in advance, I believe. That's just me. But also, the other big news part about this is now company pages have the ability to, drum roll kind of sort of, have audio events. I think this is phenomenal. Again, they launched it out through creator mode last year sometime, and before that I was a part of the audio events beta testing group. But now we can do it on company pages, which I'm excited about, because then I will start, at least this is my plan, to start having audio events on my company page and have them as kind of like my office hours. You could ask me anything LinkedIn related, open Q&A form. So I'm excited about this development and being able to test it out. Okay. Let me see before I get to this next news story if there are any guesses. What do you think the top buzzwords are on LinkedIn? Buzzwords that are overused. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Renee. Hi, Cynthia. Expertise is your guess, Cynthia. Okay, I have to double check my list to see if that's on the list. But that's a great guess, and I think it is on the list. So, because it is on the list, oh, my throat is like on fire. It's like burning from talking. I've been trying not to talk all day to make sure that I had enough voice for you. But that confetti is for you, Cynthia or Cindy. The confetti is for you for that great guess. So, thank you. Um, any other guesses, though? Any other guesses on what's the overly used or saturated word on LinkedIn? All right, so hi Felicia, I see you there as well. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get to my next story, and this one is 8 overused buzzwords you should remove from your LinkedIn profile. And this is from the source of this article is Make Use Of. That's the name of the site, Make Use Of. 8 overused buzzwords you should remove from your LinkedIn profile. This article was published March 8th, 2023. Excuse me. So, with this, the use of buzzwords on LinkedIn can help you stand out or work against you in your interest on the platform. So, buzzwords can make your profile look generic and salesy, and you don't want that. LinkedIn is a social selling platform, meaning it's all about building authentic relationships and the results coming from that, because you're building a know, like, and trust factor process. So, having buzzwords all throughout your profile can make it look very generic and salesy. Here are the top ones. So, pen and paper ready, pen and paper ready. First one is successful. All right. Number 1, successful. Number 2, motivated. Number 3, creative. Number 4, and this goes back to Cindy's guess, is extensive experience. Number 5, responsible. Number 6, innovative. Number 7, analytical. And number 8, guru. Yeah, that's overused. So let me go through the list again real quick. Successful, motivated, creative, extensive experience, responsible, innovative, analytical, and guru. Excuse me. So my suggestion is that you go through your LinkedIn profile and you scan it and see if you're using any of those words. And if you need me to say the top 8, let me know in the comments and I'll go through them again. But scan your profile and see if you're using any of those buzzwords. And if you are, think of other ways where you can be more specific and more detailed and more straightforward and on point with what you're trying to express, what you're trying to say. So it doesn't look salesy or generic or gimmicky, right? It's all about the uniqueness of our profiles is really what helps to give us traction and build that relatability on LinkedIn. So not falling into the trap of the generic looking kind of profiles with the buzzwords that I mentioned. And so I'm gonna scan my profile too and make sure I don't have any of them. D and I, Renee, I see your guest passionate. Those are some good ones. Mindset. Any plans to, okay, I'm gonna let me get through the news stories, Miranda, and I'm gonna come back to your question. Use synonyms to find other words. That's a great suggestion. So if you're using any of these buzzwords that are overutilized or saturated on the platform, this is a good suggestion for Miranda. Use synonyms to find the other words with similar meanings. And like when I'm working with clients, especially when I'm optimizing profiles, I'm doing that process all the time, finding the synonyms of words. So great suggestion. Thank you, Miranda. Miranda. I hope I'm saying it right. Not an A. There's an E, not an A. So thank you for that. And let me get to the final story. I'm only doing 4 today for the sake of my voice instead of my usual 5. I always say, though, save the best for last, so to speak. And when I mean the best for the last, the one that I love the best, the story. And this actual story is from, excuse me, from March 8th. So when I saw this story early this month, I've been waiting all month to share this information with you, because it is like, yes, LinkedIn is okay. Let me not get sidetracked. Let me just get to the information first. So the story is from Fast Company, and it's called LinkedIn's Quietly Enduring Importance, and again published March 8, 2023. Now, I want you, if you didn't write any of the other articles down, I need you to really write this one down because there's a wealth of information for you to read and digest and really understand to advance your knowledge about LinkedIn in this particular article and the links that they have for more expansive coverage on this topic. So, again, this is Fast Company. LinkedIn's quietly enduring importance. So this particular article is rather short, but it gives you links for the more expansive or more detailed information or articles. One is a very long article, but it is so rich with information on the history of LinkedIn. But yeah, I've been waiting all month to share this one with you. So it's interesting. LinkedIn story as a platform. LinkedIn story is interesting because it has the lack of melodrama. And when I saw that in the article, it reminded me of what I usually tell people a lot of times when I do presentations, or in the discovery meetings I have with individuals. LinkedIn is kind of like it's the underdog, so to speak, when it comes to social media platforms. But I don't think that's lasting much longer. But I tease jokingly say LinkedIn is never a part of the conversation generally that I can remember. And I've been consistent on LinkedIn since 2016. I had a profile created, I think, in 2007, but didn't really start leaning into it fully until 2016 and been creating content daily since then. But when there's drama in social media land, or when the social media CEOs or giants have to go to the Capitol, to DC, and to testify to Congress and others about what's going on in the platforms as far as the content, problems with the platforms. LinkedIn is never a part of those conversations. Never, ever, because it's not about the drama. The other platforms and I'm not going to say them because I'm not trying to throw shade, but I'm just saying LinkedIn is generally not a part of those conversations. It's always with LinkedIn. I love it, especially with Daniel Rolfe and others, or they're on the, and there's, so the Daniel Rolfe, when I say Daniel Rolfe, I mean the Daniel Rolfe who's the editor in chief of LinkedIn. Um, not my buddy Daniel Rolfe, who's on LinkedIn overall. But LinkedIn is usually, in the news, brought on the news stations as an expert to give information because it is generally a trusted social media platform. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that. But LinkedIn went live in May 2020. No, 2003. LinkedIn was launched in 2020, 2003. 20 years is my point. Did you know the platform has been around that long? Right? 20 years, LinkedIn. And it's kind of like I say, and as I coach my clients, it's not about all the hype, the gimmicks, and the tricks, and all of that, but having the slow growth. Slow and consistent and quality growth is really going to get you the traction and get you to the pot of gold, so to speak, at the end of the rainbow, right? Versus, because you're going to run out of steam when you're doing the gimmicks and tricks and it's not going to last, right? Same thing with LinkedIn. It's been under the radar, so to speak, and it's not been trying to run after all the trends. Although I'm getting a little concerned with some of the stuff they're doing lately, because it's like so many updates back to back right now. Um, but it generally, traditionally, has not followed after the trends. It's just been staying the course and being consistent and responding to the membership and growing as necessarily, but being true to its brand as a professional and business social media platform. And we should take note of that and apply it to our own presence on the platform as well. All right, so it's an unlikely rise in enduring importance, not trendy but solid. Shouldn't we all be solid on the platform? And then people wonder, and this is me being a side note, kind of, but I have those freedoms. Like, people wonder why I don't engage with them on LinkedIn. But if I see you doing gimmicks on the platform, I'm not engaging with that kind of content because that's not what my brand is about. Anyway, so articles includes interviews with LinkedIn leaders, some of their competitors, and notable members like Richard Branson and more. So again, write that article title down, go Google it, and then you'll see links to other more expansive articles about this. A true professional social media network instead of just a portal for resumes. It's so much more than that, right? So much more than that. That's why, so predominantly my clients are entrepreneurs and business leaders because it is not, LinkedIn is not just for job seekers. There's so much more to the platform. It has improved the world of work and the world in general by helping more people get more access to opportunities. And that's what it's all about. If you look at LinkedIn's mission and its vision, it's all about economic advancement. One of the bigger articles that's linked in this one is called LinkedIn Turns 20, an oral history of an unlikely giant, or champion rather. So LinkedIn Turns 20, an oral history of an unlikely champion. It is a very long article, but it's very, very informative. So if you for real about understanding LinkedIn, I encourage you to read that article. It's well worth the time. And the LinkedIn overall, and it's funny, like as I look back in my notes and my files from when I first started my business and the focus on LinkedIn and looking at like where LinkedIn was, like when I first started my business in 2017, I believe it was about 400 million approximately users. Now it's up to 900 plus million users, and it will soon be up to 1 billion users. LinkedIn is growing. Don't sleep on the platform. All right. Don't sleep on it. It also talks about in this article how usually when a company gets acquired by another company, that bigger company kind of overshadows the smaller company and all of that. But excuse me, but in 2016, when Microsoft purchased LinkedIn, that has benefited LinkedIn and Microsoft. And Microsoft has allowed LinkedIn to continue its identity, its brand, and it's allowed it to grow even more. So, again, I've been holding off anxious to share this article with you all month. I encourage you to read. Now, that's the 4 articles I'm going to share with you. Doesn't mean that that's all the LinkedIn news there's been this month. Those are just my hot topics, hot picks. All right. Now let me get to a question that was asked by Miranda, and any other questions, and I'm going to wrap up so I can go ahead and continue resting and preserving my voice. Any plans to record audio events on our company feed? I doubt it. And so I can't say for sure, like, no, it's not going to happen, but I can say I doubt it. That has been a constant question since I was in the LinkedIn audio events for the personal profiles. Everyone in the beta group, not everyone because I wasn't asking for it, but others were asking for it, and LinkedIn is continue to respond. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. I was recently in an audio group with LinkedIn leaders, and the question came up again, and it's not something that they're publicly saying that they will commit to doing. So with that being the case with personal profiles, I'm thinking the same thing is true with the company pages. There's people who use other ways to record outside of the LinkedIn. So if that's something that's really important to you, then that's something I would encourage you to do, record it using something external to the platform. For me, so even when I used to have audio events on my personal profile, and now as I will soon have them on my company page, I like the fact that it's the fear, people have the fear of missing out if they don't attend, right? For me, especially because it would always be my office hours where I'm giving specific tips, which is what my livelihood is about, my business is about. So for me to freely give information and people can record it or I give it out, no. Always like, be here, get the information, or if you're not here, you've missed out. So even if they turn on that ability for us, I probably would never use it for that purpose only, or for that reason only. Uh, and hey, Gigi, word hippo is great for finding other words to use. Okay, I'm not familiar with word hippo, so I'll look into that. Great, great, great. Thank you for the suggestion. Any closing questions? Otherwise, I'm going to close out. But any questions? I hope this has been helpful. Of all those stories, those 4 stories that I shared, which was the most interesting one to you, or the one that you will have the greatest have the greatest benefit for you in your LinkedIn presence? Was it? And let me review the articles again in case some tuned in a little later. Engadget was the source for the first one. You can now enhance your LinkedIn profile with AI written suggestions. And then the next one was from Make Use of 8 Overused Buzzwords You Should Remove from Your LinkedIn Profile. And the 8 buzzwords were successful, motivated, creative, extensive experience, responsible, innovative, analytical, and guru. So I have to remember not to ever use those in my clients' profiles. And then social media, today's article, LinkedIn as native post scheduling for company pages, new audio events options. And the last one, LinkedIn's quietly enduring importance from Fast Company. All right. I'm a history buff, so definitely checking out that article. The Fast Company one, you will love that article if you're a history buff. Again, the LinkedIn turns 20, oral history of an unlikely champion. So you can just Google that if you want. LinkedIn turns 20, an oral history of an unlikely champion. Google that and you'll get right to the article. But it's a good read. So I'm a history buff too, and beyond being a LinkedIn fan as well. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm here to provide you hot topics regarding, or the hot news items regarding LinkedIn every last Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. Overall, I am Clarene Mitchell, TCM Communications founder and CEO. I change the trajectory of lives and businesses one LinkedIn profile at a time. I primarily serve entrepreneurs and business leaders, success driven ones, because my coaching is work oriented. So it's all about getting results. If you're interested in starting the process of leveling up on LinkedIn, go to my profile. And this is a little outdated because I've updated my profile photo, but it still shows you at the top of my profile. Go to the intro link and you'll see where it says free LinkedIn assessment or something like that. Click on that, and then it'll take you right to my calendar for you to schedule a 30-minute Zoom session with me. During that time, I will share with you a custom assessment of your LinkedIn profile, overview wise, and we'll talk about my LinkedIn services so that you can go to the next level and really level up. All right. So look forward to networking with you in between now and the next episode on LinkedIn. And always remember to shine online. And if you're out here trying to figure it out on your own, why do that? You can expedite the process and move along a whole lot quicker by leaning into my LinkedIn coaching services. Take care, everyone. Thanks again for joining in, tuning in live, or if you're watching the replay.